How goes it? Hello?
Motivators. Hello.
How's the volume, Just Web?
Let me follow that millennial guy.
Did you? Yeah, follow Millennium.
I mean, I can hear you,
That'd be great.
but it seems a little low, especially since I have you at full volume.
Okay, so let me up this.
In
Cool.
OBS, when you talk loud, you want it to be hitting like mid yellow.
Yeah, I'm way past that. Like the OBS is tracking this in the red right now. Where I am, it's in the red.
1 million views, but
Yeah. It's still super
You
low.
don't want it hitting red, so pull it back. But maybe your microphone's just too far from you.
Is this better when I'm this close?
awesome.
I mean, it's not like I can hear you, so it's not a big deal.
Okay, great. Then I'm not going to screw with it. All right, let's take a look at this.
No, because I cannot see your face.
You can't see my face. I'm right there. I'm in the bottom, am I not?
Can I give?
See, there I am.
Give Millennial the streamer role. Should I give him mods too?
No, you don't want to make me a mod, do you? You want to give me a sword? That's a bad idea. Canadians with a sword? Hey.
Bigger zoom, please. Bigger zoom.
Reedy, do you have a stream pulled up? Because he's talking to you. He's just not talking in here. Yeah.
Shit. I'm sorry.
Canadian.
Apparently, we're on stream with him.
Ha!
Tell me that so I don't say some stupid shit.
Like giving a Canadian a sword? We don't even know what to do with it except cut down trees.
Do we need to speak French or English now? I'm confused.
German would be good. Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Well, we'll have to introduce you to Sam if you don't know him already.
Sam?
All right, let's go over this past week.
Sam is German. He's bad.
You sure you want us on your stream here?
Yeah, I don't mind. You guys want to kick me out, you can kick me out at any point, but I don't mind because literally nobody is watching right now. There's one viewer and it's just Web.
Don't forget me. Just followed, by the way.
Oh, thank you very much for the follow.
Here, we'll put it on. Did you put it on your Twitter or no?
Yeah, it should be live on Twitter.
Well, then you're gonna get some viewers.
Already at 6.
Yeah. Anyway.
Right, let's at least move into let's move into a lock channel at least.
Yeah, so I mean, this is the last week. This was actually a pleasant surprise. So this was me waiting on Waiter. This is me piling in to oncology, taking bigger positions in Waiter as it went down. The losses, they just kept coming. HOU was one that I got burned on with the oil. So this was expected. This was a pleasant surprise. This uptick here. This is some of the pharmaceuticals paying off. This is Waiter taking off. Now, the good news about Waiter is right now. Can you hear me now?
We're here. Oh, there you go. Perfect. My shit's...
Yeah, so I mean, this going up.
Oh no, it's his account.
Yeah, it's the platform. So I mean, this is good for me. I was down 25% at the start of the week. This week obviously was good, up 40%. I'm hoping that this whole account will be up another 40% by the end of the year. So we're sitting around 21K right now. Hopefully, I can make this closer to the 40-45 range by the end of Q4. But this is the kind of growth that I like to see. I like this up around this level. It's growing at the rate that I like. But yeah, the big ones that we've got to look into here. Waiter's going to do nothing for the next little bit. So these are the ones that I definitely need to look at here. So let's go into CRX. Let's take a look at All right, CRDF. We've got trying to figure out what the movers are going to be. And I guess the big thing that I want to look at here is ASCO. Okay, so ASCO is not a stock. It is probably one of the biggest conferences for oncology in the US. They did originally, this was like an in person conference. Everybody would be flown out. They moved it to a digital conference, moved it till the end of the month, which gave me more time to get into position on it. But this is the big deal. Like I watching this is so there's the breast cancer conference. They've done the same thing, and there are some people in there playing in that. But I want the ASCO. I want the big one. I want to see who's presenting. So this may not seem like a big deal when you're playing in bio, but for me this is huge because this is where anybody that was invited to this is somebody that has something to say. So they've either got new results, they're announcing a new drug in the pipeline, or they're announcing approvals that they haven't put out in a press release yet. So this is a huge opportunity as far as any of this goes. So if I can lock down anything that I'm potentially missing here, Sarah Cannon Research, none of that matters. There's a bunch of guys here. Fox Chase Cancer. Let's go here and see what we've got for news on these guys from the past week. So you don't need super fancy tools, guys, when you're doing your due diligence for the week ahead. Google is a powerful beast as long as you know how to use it. So for me, it's just checking to see if there's any super relevant news from the past week. This stuff here, these you get to see these all the time. These just general ones. Whenever you see these numbers in here, it's the same copy paste. That may be worth looking at. That may be worth looking at. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Okay, so that's it for marker. Let's see what we've got. Press release, financial results, Monday, May 11th. So Monday, Marker's going to do their financial results. So I could expect to see... Where is it now? Marker's up around 240. Strong buy from the analysts. I've got an exit of $4 on this. So, I mean, strong earnings. Maybe we see that go up this week. Moderna COVID, mRNA, yada, yada, yada. Why is Marker tagged in this? Marker receives orphan drug. So this is the big thing here. This is why I got into Marker. For those of you that don't know, in the biosector, when you get an orphan drug designation, it's one of two things. One, you've got a drug that does what nobody else does. Drug or medical tool, right? So it does what nothing else on the market does. Or it is a better treatment than what is currently being used. It's one of those two things. So this orphan drug designation for Marker was a big deal. It's for a very specific leukemia, so it's not like a general, okay, well, here's a cancer everybody has. But it being for a very specific thing and getting the orphan drug designation usually means it's going to cost more because it's a very specific treatment. It's a specialized treatment. It's a much smaller population. Like 200,000 people is not a huge treatment, right? It's not like you found the common cold cure. It's not this massive thing. But because it's a smaller group of people and it's a specialized treatment, it means that there's huge potential. Also, it means that the FDA is going to throw money at Marker to make this thing get to market, which is kind of cool. That they don't have to foot the bill themselves. Phase 2 study in subjects of post. So what this thing is doing is it's acting as a booster for your body's T cells to actually fight off the tumors, which is pretty cool. Okay, so it's got its orphan designation. It's got earnings on Monday. So marker is one I'm looking at to move this week. See what IMP has. This is nothing. This is something. So the reason why I say this is nothing, guys, I'll give you an example of what this looks like. I am not playing marbles. I have an hour. They are going to live stream the event. They are. It definitely is going to be live streamed. I probably won't be watching it. I'll just be watching for the press releases that come from it. But so this is what these look like, guys. This is why I skip over them and say this is nothing, because you see thousands of these come out, and it's all just the same crappy TA information. I am not a technical trader. I don't care about any of that. I'm trading the news on these stocks, and I found that you get a lot more success trading bio stocks when you are trading the news. When you are trading what the business is doing, how profitable it is, what it's selling, what is in their pipeline, what approvals they have coming, what designations they have coming, you're going to see a lot more success trading bio than playing around with TAs. Let's see here, though. Yeah, so that's a nothing. This granted Japanese patent for chemoimmunotherapy. May 7th. Biotech combined proper treatment of cancer. Japanese patient patent follows. Yada, yada, yada. Corresponding European. Okay, so this thing is not just already got approval. It has approval in Japan now, but it also has approval in Europe and Australia. So that's some pretty sizable markets. So I'm liking that. More markets, the better. But I don't see anything really popping for them with new news. Let's check out DMPI. I want to make sure I have... Okay, I don't have that set up. I'll show you guys how I set this up so that I get breaking news as it comes in. There are a few tools that I recommend that you buy if you're going to be an FA trader, and this feeder tool is definitely one of them. And I'm not sponsored by them. They don't throw me anything for having that up, guys. But this tool here is phenomenal. So what it allows me to do is I can go to news on IMMP just like we just did. I go into news. I head down to the bottom here. Click create alert. IMMP is what I want to have show up. Or what is the name of this company? IMMP Immutep. Go in here. As it happens, automatic. So I want any blogs, news, web, social, anything. I want it all to show up. Any region. I only really care about the US. US is the biggest market, so as it comes in, it comes in. I don't want it to send me an email. I want it to go to an RSS feed. I create the alert. Come here. Subscribe. And what this is going to do now is, you see how this little number 3 pops up? I've got an alert here for IMMP or Immutep. Now, whenever something hits Google that has that in it, I'm going to get notified. So here we see that this is Newswire. Whenever something new comes in on Newswire, it pops in here for me and lets me know, hey, there's something new here for you to look at. So whenever I'm in the market throughout the day, I just use these instead of me constantly having to refresh and search for stuff. I just use this feeder tool to tell me, hey, there's something new about a stock that you're in and what you're trading. So I'll create a few of those today and see, because these positions are new. I didn't create these for them. Past week is all I care about. Anything further than a week back, I don't care. It's just not going to make a difference. Enrollment news, that's important. This is conjecture. It doesn't matter. This is conjecture. Anytime you see these things of like, we've got killer stocks, they're fantastic, you should buy it. It's BS. It's absolute BS. Like, just they're cut and paste articles that have as many buzzwords in them as possible to drive people to their website. It's an ad scam. It's not worth your time. Don't go into it. Let's see here. So that's nothing. That's nothing. Okay. That's a big number. I kind of want to check that out. Enrollment update. We've got that up there. This matters too much. I'll take a look at this. I think that, US Post. It's a bigger thing. Okay, so, and then this. I'm already at the bottom, so let's create the alert. As it happens, automatic. English, US, all results. Feed. What's up, Colonel? What's up, Redemption? All right, so that's set up. Let's subscribe. Perfect. All right, so that's this done. Enrollment update, phase 2 clinical trial, brain tumors. So this is brain cancer. Biopharmaceutical, yada, yada, yada. Adjuvant, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so this is good. Phase 2 clinical study, and they have everybody that they need to do the study. And this has been a big issue actually during coronavirus. If you're playing biostocks and people are making announcements of, oh yeah, we're going to move to the next phase of testing. The problem is right now, you can't find anybody to bloody sign on to these studies because nobody wants to go near a hospital. Nobody wants to be sick near people that are sick. And so you're left with this problem of, we are ready to move down the pipeline, but we can't find anybody to do this. Because this is brain cancer and the trial's being conducted, bam, in China. It's being conducted in a place that's already opened back up. It gets to move forward. This is the other big news. They will be presenting at ASCO. So end of the month, I can expect this to spike. They're going to be presenting again at a virtual meeting in June, so it'll spike again on that. And we've got this designation coming in. This was on May 5th, so start of last week. So I take a look at Del Mar. 5 days. So that was May 5th, and it's been growing pretty steady from that. So let's see what else they had to say. So that's good. So they're going to be presenting at 2 different conferences as well as having their phase 2 study that's operating out of China. So I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, this is TA stuff. This is just conjecture. They see it having a 400% upside. Well, at 50 cents, no duh. Like, that's not too difficult. Like, for it to go to $3 by the end of June. So, in my mind, like, I've got that marker set of I want to get out of Del Mar by July, maybe August. And it should be around that $3-4 price mark. So that'll be a decent return. I'm pretty happy about that. If I can get 400% out of that, I'll take that. This matters too much. This is another one of those stat ones that doesn't matter. We already did that. So CRDF. CRDF is, well, this is not going to give me what I want because CRDF was TROV. They've changed their name. They changed it on Friday. So I'm not going to create a PR release for it because it's going to be under the new name, all of their news, but I can still use this for this week. Just see if anything else came up that I need. Okay. Earnings snapshot. Don't care about that. That's the announcement of the name change. Name change, 8K. Okay. That's it for that. So earnings snapshot, reported a loss. So that's not surprising, guys. If you've got one of these, if you have one of these biostocks that's in pipeline mode instead of sales mode, you're going to see that. You're going to see them losing. Just get used to it. You have to have diamond hands when you're playing bio anyway. So what I just did there, guys, was take this article because San Francisco Chronicle won't let me read it, and I threw it in outline.com, and now I can read what the article had to say. So if I wanted more details, I could go there, but I don't really want more details. This is enough. Loss, posted revenue of that. Company shares closed at that. A year ago, they were trading at $3. So this stock is down, but it was up last year. We've got, yeah, this is their 8K filing. This is all the details on what they did. Maybe there is more in the... Maybe there's more in the name change. Let's go to... Let's go here. Oh. And search TROV. Okay, ongoing phase 2 trial, yada, yada, yada. Monday, April 27th, blah, 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 blah. Ongoing study. So they're in the midst of a phase 2. Wondering if... Trying to remember what it was about TROV that had me interested. Clinical stage oncology company, developing its drug. New name, Cardiff, blah, blah, blah. So I think this was it. They are now moving from being Trovagene to Cardiff Oncology. I guess they wanted that right in the name. Changed leadership. Mark has a proven track record in drug research and development. So this is why this is a big deal. So when you're playing a biostock, FDA is, well, they're not in politics. It's very political. How you get your drug approved, how you get to the next step. What you want to see when you're investing in a bio company is either they have a bunch of proven drugs already, they've played the game, they've won with the FDA, or they've brought in people that have played with the FDA before and have relationships because you know that they know the process. They know who to talk to, they know how to talk to them, they know how to get the drugs through. So this proven track record that he's been a part of teams that have gotten oncology drugs through the FDA approval process before is a big, big, big thing. The other thing that I want to do with this is look at this drug name in the news. Sometimes you can get reports pulled up that you won't find as a direct press release, but you'll find clinical studies or medical journals that give you some more insight as to what's going on with whatever the major pipeline drug is. So we'll look at this over the past week. So here's May 6th. So this didn't show up in any of the press releases. I have $5 in a Robinhood account. How do I make $1 million? Okay, so this is simple. What you do is you take your $5 US or Canadian, you go to Zimbabwe, and you buy $1 million with it. That's how you turn your $5 into $1 million like that. You're welcome. See, we can't do the same thing with outline on this. I mean, you ask a stupid question, you're going to get a stupid answer, right? If you've got $5 in a Robinhood account, you've got a couple of problems, okay, guys? One, you're trading on Robinhood. You should never be trading on Robinhood. Two, you've only got $5. You're not going to do anything with $5. You really aren't. I mean, maybe you could start smaller. Maybe you could start with like $30, $40. That's debatable. We've done a few of those trials. I think the most I was able to turn 30 into was 600, and that took 4.5 months. So, I mean, you're going to see really slow growth. It'd be better for you to take a look at your budget or make a budget if you don't already have one, which I imagine is probably the case if you're trading $5 on Robinhood. But make a budget, cut back your spending, save up until you got like $1,000 to actually put into the market, and then do something with that. He doesn't know Keck? I know all. No. Okay, so I want this. Do I really want to register for this thing, though? Shows early promise in Kras mutant M. Let's see if there's something else here. Okay, let's go here. This one I don't have to log in to be a part of. I don't care about that. Okay. So, you see how there's a lot more when you search the drug name instead of the company name. This didn't pop up in the Google search as one of the top results, but now we've got it here. Started as diagnostics, now it's specifically oncology. So they used to be testing and evaluation. Now they are moving into this, yada, yada, yada. Reported 7 of 8 evaluable patients in its ongoing phase 1 newcomers respond to the treatment. Okay, so this is huge. 7 out of 8 patients. This is on the 8th that this came out. 7 out of 8 patients this drug worked on. That's what you want. You want to see numbers like that. Um, and one had a successful curative surgery, which means one was completely cured. So this treatment worked on 7 out of 8, and one of them was completely cured. That's money right there. This is another big one. Drugs in this sector fail. That's just what they do. They fail. So Merck is looking to compete in this, Amgen is looking to compete in this, but these guys are already further ahead. This is big. How long is a drug going to be relevant for is another big deal. So this is one of the things that I've been shooting down big time with the COVID stuff, where it's like, well, we are building vaccines and treatments for COVID-19. The reality is we should be laying foundations for COVID 20, 21, 22 right now, and we're not doing that. What this is saying here for this CRAS mutations is they are prepped. They're working with samples that are so far ahead in the genetic mutation that they're going to be okay for the next 2 iterations. Great. That's what I want to know. This is going to stay around for a while. Another possible combination, so it can be used with another drug, which is great. Okay, so I'm not seeing anything here about them presenting at the ASCO. This looks like this is probably a longer hold into September, but this is phenomenal news from their study. I like where this is going. So this is a longer haul. This is September, like Q3, late Q3. I should be seeing something on this. Now Trovagene is CRDF now. So let's see. Yeah. Like most bio stocks, dead. Okay, but year to date, okay, 1 year. So again, I think that $3 mark is probably where I'm aiming end of Q3 on this, which means that this will go price $1.19. So I'm in $1.19. I can go to 3, so not quite triple. So I mean, I'll make a couple thousand on that. That's not bad. I'm okay with that. So that's Trovagene. What else do we have to look at? ACRX is the last one here, and then I'll actually see if there's anything else in the feed that I want to take a look at before I get out of here. It's already 12:30. Time flies when you're streaming. I forgot how fast this goes. Okay, ACRX tools, recent, past week. I think I already have I already have ACRX set up. So this is, I mean, Yahoo Finance is usually pretty good as far as those like generic articles go. This I don't like. This I don't like. Expected to beat earnings. Okay, I guess I'll read that. Tetraphase is a big deal with this one. So that's the other thing that I want to look at. It's tetraphase, TTRH. So what had me interested in this in ACRX actually has nothing to do with tetraphase. ACRX got approval for a drug that is going to replace morphine in the US military. Not in the Army, not in the Air Force, not in Navy, all 3 branches. That's what has me excited about this. When you tell me you are going to replace morphine with your drug and you already have the Department of Defense signed on for that, that means that your stock has long-standing value. What makes their acquisition of Tetraphase interesting is Tetraphase has a drug that is currently being investigated by the NIH as having potential for treatment on secondary infection in COVID. So it won't treat COVID directly. It won't be a vaccine, but it'll be given to patients that have contracted COVID to stop them from getting secondary infections as they've contracted the drug. So that's I mean, that's a lot of just jargon and stuff. What that means is money, right? If you acquire a company that's being looked at for having a potential COVID thing because your current pipeline doesn't have anything, that's great. That means you're diving into the COVID game, and on top of that, you've got a Department of Defense contract coming down the line. Makes your stock very, very appealing for me. Bidding war sends Tetraphase share soaring. Okay, so let's see here. All you need to know, blah, 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 blah. Zach's consensus. Zach's isn't always fantastic, but this just got an upgrade, so that's important. So this is in the top 20% of stocks covered by Zach's. I think that's good. We have 6 branches now. I don't know what that means. Oh, I guess you mean the different streamers that like Martini and Stocky and me and whoever else. Okay, cool. And the podcast. By the way, guys, if you haven't listened to the podcast yet, I'm going to do my shameless plug right now. So we do a podcast every day after market. Going here. So here it is right here, margin call. You can look this up on Apple. You can look this up on Google, Spotify, wherever. It's super easy to get to. Just a breakdown of the market. What happened during the day, the plays that we took. It's not just myself. Normally I try to pull in other traders like Martini Rita, like Colonel, like Hitch, Redemption. If you're watching this, you probably are one of those people or know those people. So, six branches of DoD. The Space Force. The Space Force is definitely going to need morphine. Or a morphine equivalent. When they head to space, those aliens. Hopefully, Hitch is still here. Hitch is a firm believer in aliens and the fact that we need a Space Force to defend against them. I'll know very quickly whether or not Hitch is actually here by by any response in chat. Okay, so yeah, DoD's got a whole bunch of branches. So yeah, that's just more money. 6 branches instead of 3, fantastic. It's expected to report a loss, which is no change, which is fine. Because the DoD contract isn't going to come through till Q3. The upgrade to a buy is good. I like that. But again, I think this is a late Q3 play, depending on Tetraphase. So what happens Monday with Tetraphase is Tetraphase either needs to go through the deal that ACRX has already signed with them. It's locked in. Or what we're going to see is Tetraphase pull out, take this other offer that's been brought to the table, in which case they pay ACRX 800 grand for doing that, for breaching the contract. So either way, I'm okay. Like if they acquire Tetraphase, they just decide to go through with ACRX, great. We pick up a COVID-19 thing in the pipeline. If we don't get that, though, if we don't get a COVID drug in the pipeline with ACRX, we get $800,000 of liquidity, which may not sound like a ton, but right now, as companies are trying to tread water as best they can, another 800K in liquidity, cash in hand, is fantastic. You got 800K for doing nothing. Bubkiss. It really is good. Okay, so this is nothing new. This is just talking about tetraphase, blah, 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 blah. Okay, yeah. So that's it with that. So that's it for holdings. I'm going to close this down. Let's go in here and let's take a look at FDA, see what news is in there. So this is one of those feeds that I set up for FDA specifically. FDA commissioner in self-quarantine. He got sick. Hydroxychloroquine is just being shot down left, right, and center. People are blaming Trump. When it wasn't Trump, it was Trump's medical staff that told him. But, got to do what you got to do. At-home saliva test, that could be good. FDA, life sciences companies. So that you're looking for buzzwords when you go through these FDA articles. So that's a big deal. And you just kind of learn to pick them out, right? So as I'm going through this, I'm looking for keywords: approval, update, authorization, orphan. At-home tests. Okay, that's it. That's as far back as I'm willing to go. I'm only willing to go back a couple of days on press releases because the rest of that news will be in. Stuff from Friday's okay because chances are that probably wasn't considered in what happened, especially considering when that came out. So I'll take a look at this. This may be a potential play. Orphan designation. Let's see if we had anything there. Yeah, there's something there. Orphan designation is big money, guys. If you're going to play the biosector, I recommend you put this on there. I can tell you for the most part that these drugs that we're looking at, it's all opinion based. I'm not giving you financial advice saying you should or should not invest in them. But as far as your due diligence, I can give you recommendations as to what you should look into or how you should look into things. And I think that this is one of those ones that you want to have on your fingertip. Is orphan designation is phenomenal news. Okay, so that's another one. And I'll do one more here. I don't think I'll have time to do more than that. Shares don't matter. For the most part, guys, financial news won't matter when it comes to biostocks. You're playing the pipeline. I think this is why a lot of people have a hard time. Oh, happy birthday, Colonel. You're older. Older's better. Uh, Um, yeah. So with bio, guys, you're not trading the financials. Financials are really bubkiss. It's not a big deal. The big deal is watch the pipeline, watch the approvals, watch the designations, watch the PDUFA calendar. So when people can start marketing. This is another one that you can just bookmark. Type in PDUFA calendar. This is what will pop up as the first result. And it's telling you. This is one of the few industries that tells you, hey, you are getting news on this day about this drug. Your job is to do the due diligence and figure out whether that's going to be good news or bad news. There's names here that, just like in any market, you'll start to see names pop up over and over and over again that you're very familiar with. Like you're going to see BMY pop up, right? BMY is one of those just pocket picks that I love to have. They're super reliable. SNY is Sanofi. We know that's going to be there. Merck is another one. AbbVie is another big one. The rest of these are fairly low floaters, but BMY is one that I love. So Opdivo and Yervoy, that's another cancer designation that they've had forever. But you can use this into oncoming months. So into June, you can say, okay, well, MNLO again, Merck. So Merck is looking like a really great play to take a look at because in 3 weeks, you're going to have 1, 2, 3 different designations. What's up, William? I know that these different stocks, or that this stock is going to have 3 different designations. For me, I have set a price point on Merck that's quite high, but I'm doing that knowing that they're going through all of these different approvals over the next 3 weeks. So it's important to keep that in mind. But that's the PDUFA calendar. That's a useful tool that you can have for bio. Okay, so let's take a look at these. Start with the first one first, I guess. COVID. I don't think I'm going to play any more COVID. I have a COVID play locked in. Don't think I want to play anymore. Okay, so blah 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 blah. It's approved to treat. So this is lung cancer. Whenever you see NSCLC, it's an acronym, shortened term for a specific type of lung cancer. This is a big beast. A lot of people have it. It's also designated for thyroid, age 12 or older, 12 or older. Okay, so not children. There's no pediatrics in this. It is just these. Gene-specific therapies, blah, blah, blah. %75. So it's not 7 out of 8. It's not mind-blowing, but okay, so Retevmo is the name of the drug. Let's find out what the name of the company is that makes it. Lilly. So this is going to be outside my price range. If you're an options player, you could look at this. I like playing bios on equity. Do you ever play options on larger pharmaceutical companies or just play the stocks? I like taking equity positions. The thing with equity positions is there's no timeout, right? And with bio stocks, if you've got time in your favor where you're willing to hold and wait, it's a question of if on a lot of the companies, when it gets its approval. You can't time down to the date. Even this calendar, this is an estimate at best. So if you've got equity, you've got stocks, you're not bound to a specific date of expiry. Now, that doesn't mean that you couldn't play options against it. If you're going to play options on Merck, you could play the options for the 30th of June or even July, take a monthly, knowing that that'll give you some time for Merck to do what it's going to do on that news. But again, you have to do the due diligence and understand what's coming with the news. Now, also, a lot of these bigger players that are more reliable tend to get a higher rate of approval from the FDA. So Lilly is a huge monster in the bio field. Obviously, this is not one that I'm in a position with a $20,000 portfolio to start taking an investment. So if I pull up How about now? Can you hear me now? Hopefully that's better. Okay, so just to go back, I'm not sure what the last thing was that you guys heard, but the thing is with this, these larger companies at $153, that's going to be an options play. That's going to be more about options than anything else. I just, with a $20,000 portfolio, I'm not trading $150 stock. I'm just not doing it. So it is a potential options play, but since I've made a rule for myself that I am trading equity only in bio stocks until Q4 to grow my portfolio, this won't be something I look at. Now, Lilly is a strong player, and this might be a great play if you are an options player, but it's not for me. So I'm just going to move on from it. Let's see what else we got here. Global extra uterine pregnancy treatment market to see tremendous growth. Extra uterine pregnancy treatment. So this is about an industry as a whole, saying that there's going to be a big boost. This is not surprising, guys. This will be something I look at after I get in my cancer portfolio. 11 months after a crisis like this. Anything that locks people inside or anything that's a global crisis. So wars, plagues, famines, anything like that. Something massive. People that get locked inside tend to do, well, I mean, they tend to do what men and women do when they get locked inside for a long time, right? They make babies. So anything that is pregnancy related, don't be surprised to see a boost in it. Especially, I mean, bio is one side of that. You also have products. So I think KMB is one that I was looking at. That's going to come 11 months after the crisis. So expect to see March next year. A lot of these pregnancy, does that include me? No. We are done. 8 kids was enough. But yeah, this is something to consider, but not right now. I'm specifically on oncology until that goes through. So let's take a look at this. J-Site. I have never heard of this company, which leads me to believe it's going to be a much smaller one. Rare degenerative retinal diseases. So this is vision. This is something that's going to affect eyesight. 50 million cash, 12 million convertible note, 190 million in clinical and sales milestones based on regulatory approval. Sales Europe, Asia, Japan. I don't see US here. JSET is also entitled to receive tiered double-digit payments once they are commercialized outside. Okay, so let's see if JSite has stock. Right? JSite stock. Privately owned, so that's not going to do me any good either. And I mean, this is it, guys. This is what you do with pharmaceutical DD is you're going to get a lot of stuff that is just going to be a dead end, and you have to just cut and move back. So we can go back to the list because we burned through those. Let's see if anybody else. Okay, so here's another one. Malignant glioma, including diffuse intrinsic pontine glioma. Brain tumors in children. Okay, so guys, pediatrics is a big deal. This is a huge deal. When something is killing kids, we want to try to stop that, right? And this is kind of where I feel good about investing in pharmaceuticals. There's a lot of money to be made in every industry, but typically when you're investing in pharmaceuticals, you're investing in the success of drugs that's helping people to overcome diseases. I get really excited when drugs are coming out that are moving the marker on things like diabetes. So GNPX is a big one for me. That's exciting for me. Also having the orphan drug designation applied to things like pediatric brain tumors. These are kids that don't live more than 2 years on a diagnosis for this. And we've got a potential treatment. That's huge. I love that. So, I mean, as a father, yes, that's right. I have 8 kids. It gets me excited to actually see that we're making progress in this. And I feel good about investing in that. That's not important for every investor, but I'm one of those investors that has some morality and ethics. And so I get stoked when I can take a position in something that is doing something remarkable. Okay, so Bexion Pharmaceuticals is the company that got the designation. So let's see if they have a stock. They do not. Privately owned. Let's see if there's any news. Sometimes these guys will get bought out or supported by a bigger beast. Names a new board member. The board member is from Ooh. Okay, so this is why you go a little deeper, okay? Play the clip. Massive. People that get locked inside tend to do, well, I mean, they tend to do. Nice, guys. Nice. Classy. I liked it. I'm glad that clip will be immortalized forever on Twitch. So this is why you go a little deeper. So I looked into the news on this. Yes, it is a privately held stock. It's not publicly traded, but you go a little deeper. You look into the company, you find out, oh, there's a new board member as of May 23rd last year. He's tied to two huge names, absolutely massive names, Johnson & Johnson and La Roche. That's big. That means that this guy who's working with this tiny little padiddle of a nothing is got connections with Johnson & Johnson, which is, that's something to put on the radar at least. Johnson & Johnson likes to throw their money around and pick things up. So that may be good news for Johnson & Johnson, but that will be Q4 next year that we're looking at that. So I can get rid of this. That will pop again for sure. Maybe the last thing that we'll do here, I've got 5 more minutes. Let's go with, let's take a look at these and see if there's anything here. This is not in my range. CLVS maybe. I know that oncology happens, the meeting happens through here, so approvals that are happening, NBIX, nope. This is the stock price, by the way, that's what I'm looking at over here. NBRV is one worth looking at. Okay, so let's take a look at I wonder what I must have a hotkey set up to mute this that I keep hitting. That's got to be it. I'll have to track down what that hotkey is because I'm not sure what it is that I'm clicking. But yeah, so okay, why this is a big deal, guys? Up 11% pre-market, great. I don't really care about that, especially with a low float stock like this, like 61 cents. Great, you're up 11%. That means you're up a penny. Not a huge deal. What is a huge deal is this right here. This is a new buzz term that you're going to start looking for. I am going to build one of these portfolios after I exit my cancer positions. CABP. So, community-acquired bacterial pneumonia. Right now, with everybody getting COVID, people think that COVID is the big killer. COVID is not the big killer. The big killer is the secondary infection that comes afterwards. It's like saying we have an HIV epidemic or an AIDS epidemic back in the 80s, right? The thing is, AIDS just destroyed your immune system. For the most part, it wasn't the AIDS that was killing you. We said it was an AIDS death because AIDS destroyed your immune system and let every little thing kill you, right? So for you and I, we get the common cold, but AIDS cripples your immune system to the point where common cold turns into a fatal disease. That's what we're seeing here. With coronavirus, the secondary infections are having a very serious implication, and that's what's killing a lot of people. Community-acquired bacterial pneumonia is one of the big killers. Pneumonia is just brutal, as is normally, but you add on top of that a disease like COVID that's already attacking the pulmonary system, you've got a big risk. So there's a lot of news coming out right now about anything that will attack moderate to severe pneumonias. Now, community-acquired bacterial pneumonia is even that much more important because we're pulling all of these sick people into hospitals. We're pulling them all together into one place. So if somebody has pneumonia and it's bacterial and they spread it, guess what? Bam, you've got CABP. So if you find somebody that's doing well with CABP, that is potential for, we'll say, significant gain. What I like more about the CABP plays over the COVID plays is COVID's going to come and go. The drugs we produce today aren't going to be as relevant into COVID 2021. What is going to be relevant is pneumonia is not going to come and go. bacterial pneumonia is going to be around. Community-acquired bacterial pneumonia is going to be a thing. Them coming around and finding a drug that's useful for this means that this will be useful not just for this COVID or this outbreak, but future outbreaks as well. So this is a nice long-term play for bio. It's a great entry. I really like the entry on this at 61 cents. Not super expensive. They're having great results. Yeah, so there's a lot of if, ands, and maybes on this. I would have to dig much deeper, but I think I am going to pop this onto my watch list. See if I can actually get this thing to load. No, because TD is garbage. Okay, so I'll have to make a note. I'm going to set up an alert on this. Okay. So that's it, guys. Like that was a full hour that we had there. And in that entire hour, I found a single company that I need to look into more. I didn't even say that I like this as an entry. It has possibility, but it's not something for sure. That's what pharmaceutical DD looks like. It took me an hour to find a potential candidate, a potential play, and I still probably have to do another hour and a half, 2 hours of reading on prior trials, what this drug does, how it works, who's approved it, who's on the board, all of that. So when you're doing pharmaceuticals, if you want to trade pharmaceuticals in options or stock, I highly recommend that you start with stock. Don't go into options plays. I won't even touch options plays. I'm just not comfortable with it unless you're playing a big beast and you're 100% certain it's going to do nothing but good things. And I don't know that you can ever be there. I am an equity player. I recommend you get into equity with pharmaceuticals at whatever your price point is. But the due diligence on pharmaceutical is long. It is boring. It is not exciting. It is not sexy. So if you're looking for sexy, go play tech. Go play tech. Just go play AMD and NVIDIA and go take a look at those guys and figure out what you want to take in there. If you're looking to just play crazy options, be out there like one of those nut jobs that plays Tesla all day or Amazon all day or Google all day. Have fun with that. Play the spy, play the whatever. But with bio guys, it's long, it's boring, it's not sexy, but there is a potential for great return. When you look at a stock like this that is 60 cents, to say that this could go up 400% over a year, that's not out of the realm of possibility. These things go and they go quick. Most people don't remember. Man, driving me nuts with this muting thing. I got to figure out what it is that's doing that. I can't even think of. It's got to be one of the keys on my keyboard that's just set. I am calling you a nutjob martini. Your Bitcoin play and your Tesla stuff is insanity. It's absolute insanity. It's bonkers. Yeah, no, what I was saying is, so biostocks have the ability to just grow. They just explode, okay? So with Moderna, you've got a stock that in July was worth 13 bucks. COVID happened, 60 bucks. It just goes like this. Yeah, it's doing it in OBS. It's OBS that is causing it to mute. So there's definitely a hotkey that's set from another time that I stream that I just need to eliminate. But I'm not going to do that now. But that's it, guys. Hopefully that wasn't insanely boring for you. I've got to do this anyway, so I figured I might as well stream it. I will be back next week. I'm going to do this every week on Saturday at noon. Just do a breakdown of how my week went, how the portfolio developed, and what I'm looking at in the coming weeks. As always, guys, this is opinion. I am a complete degenerate. I am not a financial professional. This is all opinion. I'm not recommending you take anything that I looked at. I recommend that you do due diligence. The purpose of this is educational, so you guys can learn what it takes if you are going to play in the pharmaceutical sector, the level of detail that you need to put into your research on trading a stock. You should not be going to, I wonder what Robinhood is trading today. This is not how due diligence is done. You do not Google top plays on Robinhood. You do not Google seeking alpha latest news. Oh, I'll trade these. You do not go to stocktwits.com and go, oh, I'll just trade what's up here at the top. Do not do this. I'm not sure if Rita's going to stream today, guys. If you don't know Martina Rita, I highly recommend you check her out. She's somebody that is in kind of the community of traders that we've got. Stock Guy is another one. Hopefully, you guys know them. You can check them out. If you're not following me on Twitter, this is live broadcast to Twitter as well. So if you're not following me, follow me on Twitter. I will be doing this every week. Hopefully, it brings you guys some value. And I will catch you next week at noon. See you then. Take it easy.